All right, what is going on, man? How y'all doing out there? And what's going on in Atlanta Bird Gang? Also, Uncle Steve's Lounge. How's it going? Hope everyone is enjoying their Friday. It is January 20th. And man, dude, we are already halfway through this bad boy, man. I mean, not half, almost. We are halfway through this January, and shoot, February will be knocking on the door with the Super Bowl, and it won't be long before we start talking about free agency. Goodness gracious. And the Falcons fans are just calming down from another 7-10 season, and right upon us are other questions that need to be answered, and that's why your Unc is here. I have just been flabbergasted about things that I've heard lately. Of course, everyone knows by now there's a lot of talk about from Falcons fans. The biggest things you're hearing about is what direction are we going in. I don't know why my camera is so crooked today. You know, actually, I do know my son was down here. Sorry about that. About what direction should we go as far as the Falcons are concerned. And it's amazing to me the level of just people getting ticked off about people's opinion. It really is kind of strange. So the word has gotten out in the last couple of hours yesterday that Baltimore Ravens are going 100% all in to try to get Lamar Jackson to re-sign. Again, none of that is super surprising that they're going that way in their efforts. But of course, you know, the thought of everything going on last year and you know, with Lamar holding up the little sign about wanting more money and things of that nature, every team that has been without a legitimate starter, and Atlanta happens to be in that category, every team seemed to think maybe, you know, there was a shot to possibly get one of the more talented football players in the league. And so now that is kind of looking, just based off yesterday, again, nothing is set in stone till it's set in stone. Remember last year with Deshaun Watson, and he was supposed to be like hours away from signing with Atlanta. But I just want to know, why are we so triggered about different opinions? Why are we so angry with each other about different ways to improve the team? And, you know, I've been one person that I have publicly made it clear that I waffle. I waffle from day to day. There's one day I say 100%, let's go Lamar. Forget how much money it costs. Let's go. And then there's another part of me that is realistic to say, man, that's a lot of money. Maybe we can invest that in other parts of the team. The one misconception that people somehow, I don't understand how they have that. Even if we would assign Lamar to a $50 million deal, even if we were to do that, there's still going to be more money than we've had in the last 3 years. I don't think y'all hear me. There still would be more money to pay for other players and take care of other positions. It's also amazing to me because I hear people going crazy about Lamar, yet I also hear people say, well, don't spend the money on Lamar, go get Daron Payne. How much y'all think Daron Payne gonna cost? Is there some misunderstanding that he's going to be $10 million? Is there some misunderstanding that any other, which there aren't a lot of elite free agents out there, just for the record, when people, just for the record, Deron Payne ain't coming here for $10 million. Deron Payne ain't coming here for $12 million. He gonna be looking at Aaron Donald money if he's gonna come to Atlanta, or anybody else. So I just want to hear, and you know who I want to hear from mostly, and I put the link in the chat. Who I want to hear mostly from, and not to say I don't want to hear from anybody else. I'll gladly entertain. But who I want to hear mostly from is those against getting Lamar Jackson or somebody of his ilk that will cost you some money. Because there's one side of it where I hear everybody say, oh man, let's build the trenches and build. Dude, if I hear that speech one more time, I'm not saying that those aren't things we need, but I'm also saying you have an opportunity to cast your rod into the pond and try to get one of the biggest fish in the league. And not just for show. Yeah, I always mention there is an entertainment part of it. Of course there is. Of course, somebody like Lamar Jackson, and I'm just throwing names out there, somebody like Aaron Rodgers or somebody like that, of course that would bring notoriety to the franchise that you haven't seen in a long time. But I'm just saying, why is there this let's not try to cast your rod into the pond, cast your bait into the pond. We've tried everywhere else. We've tried every other way. It's the one thing we haven't done. That the last free agent quarterback of significance that we got was probably Chris Chandler, and at that time, that wasn't even looked at as a major move. I was looked at somewhat to get to the next step. But I want to hear from those. I want to hear from those who are just so hell-bent about signing Lamar that it bothers you. Because obviously it bothers you. There are people celebrating today. Lamar's not coming. What y'all gonna do? Why are you celebrating? You're still 7-10. You still have a third-round untested quarterback. I mean, I'm trying to figure out where's the celebration. What are we celebrating? Because that's just crazy to me. I don't know. We celebrate mediocrity. No, Steve, this year we're supposed to. No, because I hadn't seen it. Y'all tell me when y'all have seen this team, aside, like I said, aside of the beginning of the Dimitrov era, tell me the last time we've seen this team go out and do something unconventional. I don't know. I'm just trying to get the team to win. Doesn't matter to me. Everybody keep talking about the money, and I'm like, look, I'm glad we do have it. Dang, y'all act like y'all want to put it in savings. Gotta spend it too. Maybe not all of it, but spend it. Let me go through the comments right quick. John, and I think John, you know what? I see John in the studio. There, John right there. What's going on, John? I didn't even see you down there, brother.
Hey.
Going on my little rant. What's going on, bro?
Not a whole lot, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing just fine, man. I think I know where you stand on this. And so it's kind of good that you kind of kicked it off before I go through some of these comments right quick. Let me roll through a couple right here. Rusty said, open up those phone lines. You know what? I don't have the phone connected today, so I put the link in the comment section. But so those of you, and I'll have time for other folks too, but I really want to hear those who more are against the Lamar, trying to get Lamar, and even though it looks like it might not happen, but tell me why you weren't. I know, John, and I know you've been pretty vocal about wanting to stick to the script, and that's fine. But tell me, aside of the money, which is a big deal, what would be a disadvantage of bringing Lamar Jackson to this team?
Steve, let me go back a little bit to where you said the guys,
okay.
They being very kind of heated.
Right.
Now, we all are here. It goes back to me respect.
True.
We all are just giving opinions about a team we love.
Right.
And if you can't disagree with somebody and still, be respectful with it, I can't talk to you. I leave that alone. I leave that totally alone.
There you go.
Leave that totally alone. We just having a conversation. You might like this. It don't have to get heated and everybody get mad. Ain't got to get none of that at all. I don't disagree. If we don't disagree that time, well, we'll go down the line. Maybe we'll agree with something else. Yeah. But it don't have to get, as Dr. King say, it don't have to get violently disagreeable. It don't have to get like that. It don't have to get like that at all. No.
And you said it, and I'm and I take it. Me and you talked the other day, and you told me exactly what you're saying. I think I don't remember saying, John, don't ever talk to me again, and don't ever comment in this section, and don't ever whatever, because I know the main thing you and I share, and that's a fandom for this team.
We do.
And we want this team to get better. There are many routes that they can do this.
A whole lot of different routes they can go. I agree.
Right. And just so when I see today, John, I was looking at so many. Lamar's not coming. See, I told you, boo boo, and all that mess. Yeah. And I'm saying to myself, but we're still a 7-10 team. What's the celebration about? Exactly. We're still trying to get better.
We haven't did anything.
Nothing. Yeah. And I think because when we were talking the other day, and you made a good point when you were talking about Ritter and some of the other things we're going to have to do around him in order to be successful. And to share that with those who weren't there, sure, because I remember you and I were talking at the beginning.
First of all, we got to take care in home.
Yeah.
We got that front line that did all that good blocking to get us number 3 in rushing. Mm-hmm. We got to take care of them up front first. We got to get that done. And then me personally, either in free agency or in the draft, we need 2 speedy receivers that can take the top off.
Yeah.
And that's because that'll open up your tight end in the middle and number 5, London in intermediate routes. I just think we need to go that way first. And now Lamar Jackson, the only thing with me not wanting him here, I looked at his put his stats up yesterday because I was talking to one of my friends on the phone. Right. He hadn't had but 1 3,000-yard season throwing ball. And his problem is, and I say this now, I know everybody finna get mad at me, but I say that he's a 3 to 4 step up above Mariota.
Okay.
Because he can't throw the ball downfield well enough.
Mm-hmm. And it's a fair statement, and I'm trying to pull up his stats. I mean, you can look at it real quick.
Yeah, I went on now. I Googled it and went through ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
What I did.
He the one thing I say, and I understand how. Listen, I don't think anybody is here to tell you Lamar Jackson is the most accurate thrower in the world and all of that. I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to fool people into thinking he is. Yeah. However, he did win an MVP. And he didn't win it necessarily with all just throwing the ball. He very much used his legs.
He had high rushing touchdown that year.
Right. I'm trying to put it. Here it is right here. I'm going to show it to you, John, so everybody can see what we're talking about. So again, make it a little bit bigger because I don't know about you, but my vision is horrible.
Oh man, I got the extra eyes, bro. Trust me, I got the extra eyes too. Sometimes they still not good enough.
So the 2019 is the year we're talking about, and yes, he threw for 33,127 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He also rushed for 1,200 yards. And look, that doesn't happen every year, so it's something that people get excited about, and I get it. That same year, he also, didn't win a playoff game that year. So sometimes it doesn't translate. But I think my thing that I've just said is let's try something different. And I just felt like, is this fan base? So I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Do you think the fan base is willing? And I hope Ritter turns a corner. I hope he's that guy. I hope he overdevelops this year into that guy. Let's say if we're at the end of 2023 and me and you are sitting here at the same spot last year, and he doesn't develop. Do you think the fan base is still in a we'll wait for development phase after these 5 years of losing? I guess that's Lamar doesn't guarantee anything, but he does bring experience and listen, talent to a position that
he's gonna sell tickets.
Of course he's gonna sell tickets, but again, sell tickets not gonna get you to the playoffs. But I agree. Do you think this fan base can wait around another year? I guess that's my biggest thing.
I don't see Ritter. Now, just me. Mm-hmm. I don't see Ritter blowing it. I don't see Ritter blowing it up next year. I think he's gonna come out next year and gonna be right because this time he's coming in. His confidence should be very high. He's coming in as being a number one man. He's gonna take all the reps with everybody. Mm-hmm. OTAs, he's gonna be doing everything himself with everybody. He ain't gonna have to split too much time, with the second and third and fourth string like he did last year.
Does it scare you that maybe, and I'm sure we're going to bring a veteran in here. There's absolutely no doubt. I know we're bringing a veteran quarterback in here.
No doubt.
Does it scare you that he hasn't been tested but for the 4 games this year and going into next year? I know he has a summer to develop again, but I don't know. There's just something to me about, man, I wish he had more time before we just handed him the reins this year. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Go back to 2008 with Matt Ryan.
That's true.
The same thing was happening with Matt Ryan. Nobody want Matt Ryan. Nobody wanted Matt Ryan on that third pick overall.
Bro, they wanted Dorsey so bad. I remember people were so ticked off. We should have got them. And I don't know how long Glenn lasted, but I know it wasn't as long as Matt.
It wasn't long, nowhere near long. Yeah.
And I'll go one step further with Matt's situation. I know we were kind of in a rut because of the Mike Vick stuff. So we kind of didn't have a choice. We brought Chris Redman back from an insurance salesman job to be our backup quarterback and stuff. So we kind of didn't have a choice. But in this situation, I just feel like, I don't know. I just want to make sure we keep our options open. I am for whoever. I'm going Yellowstone on folks. I'm for whoever wearing the brand. If you got the brand on, so you got the Falcon stuff on, okay. I'm down with you.
Okay, gotcha.
But that doesn't mean I'm not open to improvements.
But that's life. You got to be open for improvement on anything. You can't get stuck. You can't get stagnant and just be comfortable and settle right there unless you're talking about your wife. Then you settle.
Exactly.
You settle. Then you do good. I'm good. I'm good right here with this one. And everything else in life we can improve.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Stay right there, brother. I'm gonna read some of these comments. I see Winston's in the house. I saw a Facebook user. I don't see who you are. I can't, but I don't know why. Sometimes Facebook acts kind of crazy like that. Millie Mills in the house. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. RJ, always good to have you in the house. Millie says, "Oh, they can say what they want for Lamar, but money talks, BS walks." I hear you. Absolutely. Facebook user says, because in this day and time, everybody has to be right. Now, that's so important. You brought it up too, John, when you start talking about, infighting between each other. When I saw the news, I'm sure everybody has that, hey, we trying to, bring a certain person in. And when it doesn't happen, you get this side of people that gets gloat like it's something to celebrate. And I'm saying, not really. We tried to get better. And that's a person who was going to make us better, whether the money matched up or not. Because I tell you, if there was no such thing as a salary cap, I don't think people would be having this problem.
Well, you didn't have it in the 80s, 70s and 80s.
No, exactly.
San Fran and Dallas ran it. San Fran, Dallas, Oakland ran it all.
Absolutely. The Pittsburghs are where everybody wanted to go. Everybody wanted to go in them places like that. So that's just I don't know, man. Brother John, what's going on, man? I see he has joined us. Why you got your arms folded? Why you act like you're mad there, JR? Why you looking so mad?
Steve, I done told you about waking old folk up before time for them to get up.
Hey.
See, cause I don't eat breakfast until 4. and the subject, and who's that gentleman you got over there? Cause
I'm John, brother John. I'm a John too.
Now here's gonna be my funny thing right here, right? I got John Higgins on that side. I got John Harris on the other side, and from out of your Falcon mind, I got John sitting here trying to navigate backing up on this car. What's going on, John? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How y'all doing?
Man, doing well.
How's everybody today?
I'm thankful for a sunny day.
Amen.
Y'all make sure y'all reach out to my brother John and Mike over there on Out of Your Falcon Mind, man. Just so great content, good time. I apologize to my other two Johns, but John, I'm Out of Your Falcon Mind, John. I'm gonna go over to you real quick because I know you've been dealing with it because of hosting the show, and you get the kind of pull and tug about Lamar. Tell me what's been the most polarizing for you about the argument for and against, as far as what you've been seeing.
It's crazy, man. Like you see the folks that are, and I'll tell you, man. Like right from the start, when it first came out, I was originally against it because just from the start, just thinking like, well, and it was just really just PTSD from the former contracts that we had. To be honest with you,
absolutely.
And that was just my original thought. But then, you start digging into it. You look at what, what Terry could possibly do with the contract and the salary cap and stuff like that. So at that point, I start kind of coming around to more, we could do this. We could do this if we pull it off. But what I can't see is when the folks that just do not want him come at the argument with really nothing behind it other than, like I've seen the argument, you're going to spend all your money on one player. That's not how that works, really. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have money left over if you do sign a contract with Lamar, you're still going to have money left over. What is he going to do with this current? I mean, there's so many factors, man. You look at how many receivers has he had in Baltimore that you can say top-notch receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Like his best weapon for years. He's got a Greg Roman who's been a fantastic offensive coordinator for the running game, not so much for the passing. So
right.
there's a lot of variables there. So You know, I can get both sides. If you want to ride with Ritter and want to build, that's fine. Just commit to it and get after it. But if, you know, I'm totally, I don't understand the, I guess, kind of just not hatred, but, you know, like, it's just like super either super against or super for. Like, it's, you know, like I can see both ways. You know what I mean? So that's the.
And you're right. And I actually was on, and I was watching. I apologize. One of the shows that you guys did, and just the polar opposites of Lamar or bust, Desmond or bust, and not realizing, saying, "Hey, fans, no matter what, we want the best too. It's okay to talk about it, but this stupid gloating about, well, Lamar's gone, nah. Now, what happens a year from now when we're in the same situation and those same people that were riding the coattails of Mr. Ritter, the conversation will be different. I guarantee you it will.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that Lamar's done, to be honest with you. I mean, the owner and the coach are going to come out and say exactly what they said. Or the GM. They're not going to come out and say, yeah, you know, we're kind of done with Lamar. You know, we've moved on. You know, that does nothing for them from a negotiating standpoint. So, like, you know, to say that's done with, no, man. Lamar still has a say in all this stuff. So, let's wait and see on that one.
It's so funny that you say that, because I'm taking your part on that too. I'm listening to the report, and I saw John Harbaugh look up there and nice and sweet and smiling and saying, yeah, we're going to work with Lamar and whatever. But I haven't heard from Lamar, non-agent Lamar. I haven't heard his side of that. John Harris, tell me, what's your take on the back and forth between the fan base over pro Lamar, pro Ritter? What's your take on that?
First off, recently, Deshaun Watson. It's just as simple as that. When we were willing to do whatever to get Deshaun Watson, you had people that, what in the world are you doing? You all were complaining about having all this money tied up in Matt Ryan and not being able to move, but now you're going to move Matt Ryan and get Deshaun Watson, and with all of the baggage that was supposed to carry. That was the most recent thing. And you had people after Deshaun Watson was unavailable, the same thing you hearing, now. They were doing that same thing then. And that also leaked into the Matt Ryan camp. Because you remember when people were saying, well, okay, we gonna see what Matt Ryan does in comparison to what Deshaun Watson or Marcus Mariota, who we finally settled on, did this year. You had the same nana boo-boos doing the same thing back then. They were doing the same thing.
I'm gonna let you finish your point, but I'm gonna say one small difference in that situation. When we went for the Deshaun thing, and yes, we knew eventually we'd move away from him, but at least for the moment when you moved away from Deshaun, you at least had a 14-year veteran who had been playing in the league, and at the moment, you figured you might be able to fall back on him for a fleet moment, but at least you were going to be falling back on him. The difference in today's situation is you have the funds and the availability to do what you do with Lamar. And like everybody doesn't really, you still can do other things, but you still have the possibility of doing that. But if you don't, we still have a very promising but wet behind the ears quarterback that's played 4 games. You could argue 3 2/4 worth of real life football against, not real life, but, you know, top-notch football players. And you could argue with the Arizona game, they didn't come full staff.
See, I understand the difference in situation. but that didn't translate into the difference in emotion.
This is true. This is true.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's true.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about the situation that we have. Plus the fact there are people that do not understand the salary cap and what it is that and then they're still questioning, okay, we might have to pay this person this money, but do we have to give up draft picks to Baltimore for him? What type of other costs will there be for him?
Well, that's a fair assessment. That's fair. I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna give some more comments right quick from Facebook. Said Gregory, what's going on? Said, what's up? Much love to you. I'll stay tuned as usual. Good players ain't cheap. That's true. False Start says they all got PTSD from the Dimitrov era. I can understand that. I can understand that.
Still got it.
We had the 8th ranked offensive line. Isn't the 8th ranked offensive line isn't the league this year? Oh, in the league this year. Got it. I'm mad they got Damian Pierce over Tyler Algier on the top rookie list. The disrespect is real. Yeah, we're gonna get on that too. That I didn't like that rookie list either. Facebook user says nothing wrong with casting your line, but don't let the big fish pull you into the lake. In other words, don't give up so much that all the team will be as entertaining and not good because you can't put anything around him. Here's my only thought with that. I'm gonna go to you first, John Higgins. Then we're gonna go to John out of your Falcon mind. But we haven't done that yet. Who is the last splash quarterback? Not even splash. Who's the last free agent? Let me change this. Who is the last above average free agent quarterback that we signed on this team?
You hit it right early. 9-8 quarterback.
And some would argue he wasn't above average, but Chris Chandler was an okay journeyman.
Well, he did his thing over the years. He did his thing over the years.
Right. And so when Chandler came, the pieces on Atlanta didn't change that much. You got to upgrade in quarterback, but nobody was running for Travis Hall. Nobody was coming for Chuck Smith. Jesse Tuggle had respect, but folks weren't knocking down the door to try to acquire Jesse Tuggle. So you can argue that elevation in quarterback play is what drew the team maybe to say, you know what, we got somebody back here that can do something. Let's rally behind him. John, out of your Falcon mind, am I losing my mind, or is it a fantasy for me to believe that if you have somebody with an over-average skill set to come at the most important position on the team, that could elevate the play of other players?
No, for sure. And then if you look at like what the comment was saying, that we don't because you can't put anything around them. Well, we already kind of do though. We've got a rookie in Drake London on his second year, right? Number 8 pick, Tyler Algier, amazing year for a rookie. We're probably going to add a running back there. Still got CP. Kyle Pitts coming back off his injury. We got Oz, hopefully going to be a third receiver. We go out there and get a wide receiver too, which is still going to be doable, whether or not we get Lamar or not. That's still going to be a very doable thing, whether it's a draft or a free agency. So, I mean, we were talking about with Alberto the other day, from 95 North. I mean, you look at the contracts you got coming up, really, it's this AJ, it's Lindstrom, and then you're going to be, whether you pay McGarry or not, past that, it's a bunch of guys on rookie contracts. So, I mean, you're going to have, there's not a whole lot to pay down the road quite yet. So, like, if the Falcons decide, hey, we want to make this immediate jump and try to really, because with the NFC kind of being for the next, looks like it might not be just amazing these next few years. And you want to take that leap and try to, like, really go after it, I'm down. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it, because you think about that offense, what I just named, with the offensive line that we have, and maybe even upgrading there. I mean, my God, man, that's a pretty potent offense, dude. I mean, like especially with that's something that'd be instantly more weapons than Lamar's ever had to work with in his entire career.
You just reminded me of a couple of people names I hadn't even thought about when you just mentioned that lineup, John. To your point, people are at like we have absolutely nothing here. We have some folks, and I'll still say, I see the potential in Troy Anderson.
Yeah.
I'm still a believer in Jalen Hawkins. I know a lot of people don't like the safety situation. I think Hawkins is maybe unfairly rated because of the situation we were put in. Maybe with the right defensive coordinator, he could be somebody that we could be looked upon. I like the energy I saw from AK Ebiketie this year. I think there are parts of this team that are still on the uptick. So if you bring somebody, JR, with disability to this team, it could light a fire under the other guys to say, oh, we got somebody that can ride, that can get this team moving. What are your thoughts about how one person can elevate the rest of the team, especially at the quarterback position?
The quarterback position is the most important position on the football team. Okay, for all of these people running around talking about, well, the defense is, and man, nothing changes your team like a quarterback, man. And I mean immediately. Now, my problem here is one that I've enumerated, railed on, hollered, fussed, and acted a fool about, is Lamar Jackson or any quarterback here, the one that you have here right now. What is he getting here? What is that person going to get here? And in the way of coaching, in the way of training, in the way of becoming anything, because I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I peeped it. I'm sorry I uncovered it. But it's the truth. The man has no quarterback coach here.
All right, hold on before you start, because that's not the tangent I'm going on today, because I know that's where you got to go. But I just want to know about him elevating it by itself. That you will start that fire starter on everything, John, and you know that. So I'm gonna put a mute button on you on I think every Atlanta creator know that you have been, and you're absolutely right, against the quarterback coach thing. But I want to stick to just the elevation of the individual at the quarterback position. So okay. Go ahead.
And see, the reason I even brought it up.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is not a finished product.
No, he's not. People act like he is peaked. He literally just turned 26.
That's right.
He just turned 26. And I would rather put money into a 26-year-old than to put money to a 36-year-old. I know he was 34 when he signed his Matt Ryan signed his contract. I would rather put that money into still hasn't peaked. Everybody's talking about Lamar's flaws. John Higgins, everybody's talking about his flaws. Have people realized that he still hasn't reached his prime yet?
And see,
go ahead. Let me let John Higgins roll in, JR.
Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, well, let me say this. And see, that's what the concern is. Now, I don't want to go back over already plowed ground. However, that's what the concern is, because isn't he at 26 years old, right when it's time to take a next step in your development, the next step, and elevate your game into, even though he's been to the playoffs, or whatever, there's a time where you have to go to that next step. All right. Do we have the people here to guide him in that next step? And that's my concern, as well as with Ritter right now, because see, if these reports are true about, and I know Tidy hates to hear that, about him becoming a Raven for life, like we signed our quarterbacks to Falcons for life. Are these the right people to get them there? And but just his skill set that he has, he's gonna need that automatic audible that Michael Vick always had. Haul ass.
I don't know whether that's David or Larry. One of y'all got CNN in the background. Can y'all hit that for me? I don't know who that is on TV.
My TV off, man.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, David. Larry, David, man, appreciate both of you. Dang, it's Larry, David. Larry, good to have y'all. Good to have y'all in the house, man. We talking about a triggered fan base. That was my that was where this started. I'm going to hit you first, Larry, because I know you have kind of been Larry from the Dixon Way, by the way. Outstanding job calling that game, that Hawks game the other day, man. That was awesome, being able to hold off Luka and the fellas in that particular game, brother. We always appreciate watching you and seeing you sweat and do all of that during the Dixon Way. Y'all make sure y'all check him out with his live reaction videos. Him and his beautiful bride put on an awesome show. But let's get to Lamar Jackson. I know where you stand, but tell me this, and this is the topic. Why are we so triggered about why are those people who are so anti Lamar Jackson so smuggy about bringing somebody in who is obviously more talented into this franchise, as opposed to staying pat and not saying Ritter won't develop? But why is there this constant battle between those two sides?
Okay, well, first of all, I appreciate you having me on. The reason is, just like John and everybody else said, people want to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to be Stephen A. Everybody want to be right. Don't nobody want to be wrong. They would just like you said. You see the countless posts trolling Matt Ryan because he's trash this year. You know what I'm saying? But it's the exact same thing, man. It's the exact same thing. People want to be right, and it's going to be the loudest dog get the bone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hit him, the loudest one get the bone. So that it is what it is, man. People are always going to be like, that's what we are in this age right now, in this information age, in this everybody got a camera phone. Everybody want to be, the director or, be on TikTok or what. They want to be right. I understand. But my thing is this, and me and my wife talk about it. I got on the Ritter shirt right now. But I like the progression. And see, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'll say. The only thing I'll give defense for Ritter is that we saw the production in Drake London. Drake London was looking like a bust until Ritter entered the game. Now,
that's fair.
Now, everybody, we want to talk about and look at Ritter's stats and saying he wasn't much better than Mariota. I'll say at game 4, he was better than Mariota having 7 years of experience. So I feel, while I didn't want us to, and full disclosure, I didn't want us to draft Ritter because I didn't think any quarterback in this draft was worth higher than a 5th round pick. And it looked like I was right. But there you go again. People want to be right. Me want to be right. But still, I saw improvement enough in Ritter to say, first of all, Drake London don't look like a bust now because we got Ritter throwing the ball. A. B, while that improvement wasn't like on a Prudy level or the kid Skylar Thompson out of Miami level, stuff like that, I don't think we got better play callers. I don't think we have better play callers, and we dang on sure don't have better talent. So for the people that's always judging him, who's on Lamar train, like hardcore, and not trying to hear the other side, and say, you got to step back from it and say, okay, I don't think we're going to throw all the money at Lamar and that's going to be it, because those people don't understand, just like you say, they don't understand the salary cap and stuff like that. They just worried about, oh, we just got rid of Matt. We don't want to get this. Hey, my son's guest starring right now. We don't want to get.
We always got time for the kids.
Yeah.
Don't make us do a welfare check over there.
Me personally, man, if you can get a generational talent, and of course, Jim Harbaugh's gonna say that we love Lamar. We're gonna, we're putting everything into Lamar. Why the deal ain't got done yet, partner? You yapping your jaws, but you ain't no action. I'm about that action, boss. You know what I'm saying?
John,
I'm talking about it. Be about it.
John, out of your Falcon mind, said the same thing. Is we've heard from everybody except Lamar, and when you don't hear from Lamar, I'm still one of those people that I understand what John Harbaugh. Of course, he's going to say that, but I also remember Terry and Arthur sitting there before March saying we're committed to Matt Ryan. So David, what's going on first, my brother?
What's going on, Steve?
And you already know what we've been talking about. Tell me what's the most annoying thing about the pro Lamar, pro Ritter, you're right, I'm wrong thing?
It's the thing of me with, I guess we haven't evolved yet to the point of where when we get new information, we can't admit that we're wrong.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And right now, with everybody who was saying, okay, put the kid in, we have new information now. We have new information. The kid went up against three very good defenses.
Yeah, he did.
And he did that, and he did not look very good. Now, he showed improvement, but he did not look very good against three very good defenses. And didn't really look good against the fourth decent defense until they put their backups in.
Fair point.
So we have new information on the kid now. We have information on Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a former MVP, people. A former MVP in this league. He has done it, whether you like his style or not. He has done it, and he has done it at a high level in this league.
I want to show just again. I don't want to act like I'm a big proponent of what I see on the field.
Exactly.
And what I see on the field, if you see over here, this part right here, that says 45 and 16. And I don't care how great your defense is. I don't care how many all pros you have on your offensive line. He ain't doing this with smoke and mirrors.
That's hard to do.
That's
hard to do. It's hard to do.
And I'm even going as far back as saying, this 2021 season, we know he was a little hurt on that. And then even this year, before he got hurt, he still had 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Of course, he's going to run for 6-7 yards to rush and everything. I mean, folks, we're not bringing that information up to make it seem like Ritter can't evolve into a quarterback. I just want people to understand, if I go back to you real quick, John, out of your Falcon mind, John, as somebody who navigates this internet, you and Larry, when I hear people just be so negative about trying to improve, I just wonder, what do you want? I'm trying to figure out when you hear somebody is better, and I see the fear of trying to get better. That, to me, that's what it looks like. It's like, ooh, I'm afraid to get him because we'll spend all this money. That's the part that bothers me, John. I'm at a loss for words. I need your help. What help me? I'm trying to figure that out.
Man, I don't know if I could help or not, but that's kind of it, though. I think they're worried about that. They bring up the injury history, kind of concerned about that. They're concerned about spending a bunch of money on somebody that could be hurt but could not be hurt. And like I said, when I first came on, man, it's just coming off that contract that we had with Matt. So it's just all fresh. It's all really fresh. And you're thinking, okay, we got this fresh start with this young QB we can pay $1 million to for the next 3 years and build around him. So that's super enticing if that young QB turns out to be what we hope he could be. But that's all betting on potential, right? So it's there. I think it's like you said, it's just that unknown part scares people, and the folks that just have a problem with Lamar, that's their own deal. You know what I mean? Like that's their. You can't change that regardless. But like you said on the and to go back, if for the draft picks thing, it really depends on what we give up. It depends on what they do with them. If they put an exclusive tag on him, that means nobody can negotiate with them. That means it's going to be. Yep. That's it. Now, if they put a non-exclusive tag, other teams can negotiate. Say we offer them a deal, Baltimore can match that deal, or they can choose not to. But if they choose not to, they get for sure 2 first-round picks from us, or we can go and they can make another deal. So, which you got to figure they're going to be somewhere in the same lines as the Deshaun deal or something like Russell Wilson got. That's something around there. So people are worried about giving up that potential future. But like I just said earlier, we're still going to have picks. We're still going to have money to go out there and sign. And we've already got a bunch of young guys now that are on not very high contracts. So, if you're going to do it, now's probably the time to do it. But just because of what the guys we have coming up for free agency to sign back is very few. So, I can understand them wanting to do it now as opposed to, not going after it. And plus, you don't want your GM just sitting around not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you want him to at least pick up the phone because he's not doing his job if he's not doing that. But
you said something important just then, because last year, no one can accuse Terry Fontenot for not trying to improve his team. Even with someone who had the controversy around him and the things going on civilly, Terry Fontenot said, yeah, y'all, I'm watching the same news reports y'all are, but this guy will make our team better.
Yep.
And it bothers me that there's such a resistance against why he wouldn't even try to get this team better. I want to go back to one quick thing before I go to JR.
Steve,
we were talking about the exclusive rights tag and the non-exclusive rights tag. That should be shown very quickly, because here's the deal. If Lamar Jackson truly is done in Baltimore and they put him on an exclusive tag, he doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to play. He could sit out. He could absolutely sit out if he wants to. Who was the?
He's sacrificing $45 million. He does that, but
hey, he's 20 again. If he's 30 and if he's 31, that's one thing. Baltimore is not going to sit back and let a commodity just sit on. If he says, I don't want to play, Baltimore is not, because no matter how this looks, fellas, it's going to be the Ravens' fault.
Yeah,
the Ravens will be the bad guy in this situation if he doesn't get paid.
Steve, I want to say one more thing before you go back to JR. That was a team. That was a team I know that they're pretty good now. But the owner wouldn't spend a whole lot of money at one time. And I have a friend of mine who's a fan of this. Anybody remember how horrible Cincinnati was?
Yep.
When they weren't spending money?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
for all of y'all sitting up here talking about all the money with Lamar Jackson and all that stuff, I want you to go back and look at those days when Cincinnati wasn't spending money and see if you want this team to be them.
There's some people that do, man. There's some people that are stuck in the mud, and that's not me and that. There's some people that don't want to move forward. Let me run through a couple more comments real quick. Travis, what's up? Travis says Lamar Jacksons don't grow on trees. When someone like him is available, you go after him. Hale Rail is in the house. What's going on, brother? Always good to have you in the vine with us. Devontae says, Unc, I think we go all in and build around Ritter. I believe he has an upside for future of this franchise as long as they go in heavy defense and fill in on the offense. again, Devontae is somebody who I'm going to sit here and say it's hard to argue that. It's hard to argue going this route. So if even though I'm saying I'm pro Lamar, there is nothing wrong with this. And in going this particular route, I'm trying to figure out why, when the other scenario is brought up, oh no, we can't do that. No, Lamar, no, y'all just want another Vic and all of that mess. But his point is made, and even though I might slightly disagree, but it's a good point. I don't understand. I don't understand. Anyway, let's go back a couple more. Charles, what's going on? It was good, Steve. Think we still had the best brass line in the history of the earth. I used to be in the marching band, folks. That's what he's talking about. It's all about getting this defense together. I wouldn't even look at offense until around the 4th round. Gregory says John Harris, a.k.a. wingtip shoes on their neck. Yeah, that sounds like something you say. Winston says, what's up, Winston? I will hop on when I'm at work. Brother, don't get fired because of me now. You get fired because of somebody else, man. You better go make that money and do what you're doing. Speaking of money, and I'm talking about big money, speaking of folks with all the money, my brother Tiny in the house coming in with them shiny Beats headphones he got on, nice little attire in his
$20.
His trendy vest. Don't let him fool y'all. That's
$40 through that.
How y'all doing?
What's going on, my brother?
Do that hook up.
Good, Bird, man. I'm doing good.
Hey, Steve.
Toddy is one of the voice behind one of the biggest Atlanta Falcon groups out there, Atlanta Bird Gang. Be sure to please subscribe to his channel on YouTube as well, Atlanta Bird Gang too. Toddy, as somebody who probably, quite honestly, has to deal with all of these comments, the pros, the cons of the pro Lamar, pro Ritter fight. What's your take on why? I think we established that not winning is one of the main reasons why the fight is going on. But what's your take on why this heated debate between pro Lamar, pro Ritter?
There's a lot of layers to it, Steve, and we might not even have a show for it. But I'm gonna try to make a long story short and a short story long. You gotta first go back to the Michael Vick era. It starts there. You got to look at how Vick left. That's a big part of it. You got to look at when Vick's replacement came in 2008 and everything that was going on within the fan base at that time. At that point in time, that was the first time in franchise history in my era. Steve, I know you're about 85, so you go back farther than I do.
If I'm 85, John is 90.
That's true as well. That's true as well. But I was gonna say that was the first time in my era when I seen two players and no fault of their own make the franchise choose sides.
Right.
You was either on this side or you was on that side.
That's true.
Now there were some people that was in the middle, but for the most part, and if anybody remembers the Michael Vick 30 for 30, they painted that picture. And a lot of people who went inside this fan base didn't know what really was going on. So, and that was a lot of people's reservation on Matt Ryan leaving because they was on that side of the fence so long. So now that Matt and Mike are now gone, I think a lot of people are still stuck in that frame of mind. No, this is my quarterback. This is my quarterback. You already hear people now, Ritter my quarterback, Ritter my quarterback. Well, I mean, what has Ritter really done for you to just hand them those keys to that car so fast? And that's a lot. That's what I hear. Build the defense. Ritter my quarterback. Build the defense. And I have to say this, Steve. Like, why can't we aim high and think high? why can't we still pursue top talent quarterback and still build a defense? You know, I can write and chew gum at the same time. I don't know about everybody else. So what rule? I mean, why did we put this mental obstacle there in our mind that you can't go get Deshaun, that you can't go get Lamar and still have a damn good defense? If you go get Lamar, that don't mean you saying, well, F the defense. We don't care about playing defense anymore. And I'll finish this off. I know I'm rambling.
No, you good.
Go ahead.
When people say build the defense, I don't think they realize that the offense wasn't really good last year. You talking about a 23rd, 24th ranked offense. You know what I mean? You still got to score the most points to win the game. I'm not trying to say the defense was the 85 Bears, but they were only ranked a few steps below the offense. So you had a bad offense and you had a bad defense. And for the Ritter guys, if the Falcons decide to go with Ritter, I'm behind that 100%.
Right.
Steve, you know just how we both was fighting against don't draft Kyle Pitts, but once you get here, we're gonna ride with you. That's how we work. That's just how we work. But until that happens, it's okay to have the conversation. But for everybody, who just stuck on the Ritter train, man, I just feel like, he should have to do more to earn that job. I don't feel like that job should just be given to him. And just like a few of y'all already said, hey, man, the Ritter's best days, his best games were against teams where what was left for the Cardinals defense, like you said. If y'all go back and watch that Tampa Bay game until they pulled their starters out, Ritter had like about 40 yards. So let's just keep our options open. I just said let's just keep our options open, and I'll finish with this. I don't care what nobody say. I just don't feel like Arthur Smith and Fontenot gonna go into this season with Ritter as the starter with no competition. Bump getting Lamar. Lamar might not be here, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But if he's not, somebody gonna come here who can start day one outside of Ritter. And I'll finish on that.
What you don't want, and thank you. What you don't want is 2 years from now to be having that conversation as Lamar is holding up a Lombardi in New York Jets and Ritter is being benched for another rookie quarterback coming through Atlanta. I because we don't know, I understand, but JR, I just go back to you and I have been here through Bartkowski, through Miller, through Archer, through Billy Joe Tolliver, through Bobby Hebert, through Chris Chandler. I mean, Lamar, from the moment he puts his feet on Mercedes-Benz, would be the most talented quarterback that we've ever had at that position the moment he would step on the field. Why is there just this force field of no, don't do it in this fan base?
Tidy told you. Okay. Tidy told you, because that was going to be my point. Because, see, I gave you a scenario of Risa, and I was going to go back to Michael Vick. Yeah. There are people in this fan base that don't want to say the words, but there is a racial situation here in this fan base as far as Michael Vick and the style of quarterbacking that Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson represent. They still think that quarterbacks are supposed to end the yeah, they want.
It ain't so.
Wait a minute.
John.
Huh? Yes. Yes, sir. No, look. They want quarterbacks to stay in the pocket. They want quarterbacks to stand behind an offensive line, not move, take sacks, and that's it. That's it. That's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Now, you can keep trying to walk around him if you want to, but you slip over one of them bananas he just ate and run into him, he gonna claw you out. And see, that's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. Because, look, everywhere you look, no matter what team that you look at, there are still statues, and then they are dwindling, but you have people that can move, because offensive lines, some of them cannot hold people out. If Burrow didn't have a little bit of speed behind him, Burrow would be dead. Burrow would be dead.
I'm gonna stop you in the middle because you in one of them Geritol moments for a second. Look, if you go back, and I respect what you're saying, because look, I'm not pretending. You and I are from the ATL. There's always a racial component in some things about this. The only thing I disagree with you is we did have a quarterback this year that was mobile, and we did have that type of guy. There's no question that there are elements of that, but I don't think that has anything to do with it, in my opinion. And hold on. In my opinion, I don't think that has it, and I don't want to steer into that area, because I want to put the focus on the quarterbacks that we talking about, because Lamar Jackson is a talent that everybody wants. I don't think anybody is being pushed back. The biggest reason I see people not wanting him is because of the money, more than anything else. I have yet to hear anybody come in here and say, well, I can't say anybody, but I haven't seen a lot of people talk about style of play. They talk about his injuries, but maybe not his style of play. So I want to steer away from that part. John Higgins, I'm gonna bring you back. Smitty's Sports Machine comes in and says, "Man, they think top flight rookies is the right way to go. Too many fans, too many he say, she say fans." Tidy is even one of the people who brought up the prospect of possibly getting CJ Stroud. I think you on the Will Levis train too a little bit, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and which I agree with too. What's your thought of going the rookie route, John Higgins?
Oh, okay. My bad, Steve. Ricky route is fine, but my thing is with Lamar. It just I can't see giving. Now I'm talking about based on just throwing the football.
Right.
I can't see based on throwing the football down the field. You giving a man with 250 guaranteed. Yeah, he's a great runner, but I can't see him giving a man 250 million that can't throw. That's average to below average of throwing the football downfield. That's just me. That's just me.
No. It's legit, dude. No, man. No apologies for opinions. That's what I can't stand anyway. When people look, that's your opinion, brother. You stand on that rock. That's all good.
John, can I ask you something, John?
Go ahead.
Didn't Lamar throw 40 touchdowns one year and win the MVP when he had better talent? Don't the Falcons have better talent?
Here you go, Larry. I'm giving you some help, Larry. Here you go. 2019. Look right there. You see it?
Bro, like when Lamar had the pieces around him, he produced at a higher level passing wise. Now, our offensive line is not a good pass blocking offensive line. That's true. But the man threw for 40 touchdowns. Did he just throw them like 5 yards and then they ran for it? 40? No.
Oh, he had 40.
Nah, he threw
40 touchdowns, bro. We're not talking about Lamar being a better Mariota. Lamar is a generational talent, man. He's what I call him. I call him Diet Vic. You know what I'm saying? Team Vic. He Diet Vic. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, you don't miss out on the talent, man. I think Ritter, if you want to build around Ritter, he showed some improvement. Points are valid that the starting defense were taken out, not for injuries, especially for the Tampa Bay game. But guess what? He's still in there playing against – it wasn't preseason playing against guys that wasn't in the league. You know what I'm saying? So I saw improvement, but I'm just saying you don't pass on the generational talent. And if you get him, we're automatically the best team in this division. Easy.
Go ahead. I'm gonna help you out, Larry. That year 2019, and you were very close. He threw for 36 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, but he also added 1,200 yards at a 6.9 a yard clip in 7 TDs. I'm gonna, if I can piggyback off you, Larry. I think the thing that people don't realize too. Great players elevate the team around you. I don't think it's a coincidence that Dallas went from the worst defense, arguably, in the NFL at number 11, and all of a sudden they're one of the most feared defenses in the league.
Exactly. Dan Quinn is getting all these job interviews because of Michael Parsons.
Because of Michael Parsons.
He did with the Legion of Boom.
But give him credit, Larry. Give him credit, Larry.
You can give credit.
I know you don't like that, Quinn. I'm gonna stay on you. Your favorite coach took the reins off of Michael Parsons too. They could have done. You could argue here in Atlanta, Dean Pease, the hopefully resting well retirement Dean Pease. You can argue that he might be holding these guys back with this antiquated zone thing that he does on this team. Dan Quinn, if you give him credit for anything, he seems to let them young boys play. He did when he was here in the bottom part of 2016. He did. I don't know who that is with the thing, but he let them play then, and I think he's doing the same with Parsons. I do agree with you to say he's going to make his next job is going to be thanks to Parsons and his. Go ahead.
And Steve, I want to add another thing about about Lamar Jackson, and I want to add another thing I've been seeing. Everybody's been sitting up here and talking about, oh, we can't give up this pick and that pick and these many picks and that many picks. With our history, let's see, going back to the Parade Jerrys and the Tech McKinleys and the Jamal Andersons and some of these others, why can't we give up some of these picks for Lamar Jackson?
Oh God, you killing me with that answer.
We had a good GM in them picks. I feel you, JR. I feel you, JR.
Don't do Dimitrov like that.
Dimitrov.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, too, guys.
Now you know that man couldn't draft deer.
I disagree. We look at it from a different microscope because he was our GM.
Grady Jarrett.
Yeah, well, I give him
Chris Lindstrom.
I still see
AJ Terrell.
I still see Peter
Devondre Campbell.
I still see Peter Combs starting out on Channel 5 and getting knocked over to Channel 46.
Peter Combs was gone. We drafted Peter Combs because
I see everybody running around, and I still see everybody running around Lamar Holmes.
We went for everybody that keeps talking about the Peter Combs. You got to remember, we gave up those picks for a generational talent, and we got it in Julio Jones. Yeah. So that was the remnants. That was the remnants of doing that and keeping it real. The Combs was what, 2012? 12. So did we really need Peter Combs at that moment?
Yeah.
In 2012?
But we were going to need him in later on when McClure retired. We were going to need him the next year. And
this is full circle. But you betting on his progression, right?
But Steve, when I heard 19 reps at the combine, 225, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I heard that. Steve, I'm sorry.
What'd you say, Larry?
No, I'm sorry. JR, go ahead and say what you're going to say. I'm going to piggyback on Peter Combs. I watch the combine every year. Go ahead.
What I was going to say about Julio Jones, Now, the pick was a good pick for the talent, but did we need Julio Jones? That was always the question. Did you?
Yes.
No, you needed
Yes, you did.
an offensive line.
Yes, you did. He took the top off of offenses. Roddy White was on the. Roddy White was
Michael Jenkins. Michael Jenkins.
Roddy White was the most dependable wide receiver. He was Michael Jenkins was back in 08, 09.
He was still here.
Yeah, he might have still been here, but he wasn't a factor. Matter of fact, you could almost argue Harry Douglas probably was getting more run at that point.
Harry Douglas.
Michael Jenkins was basically Brian Finneran. That's all.
There you go. Yeah, he wasn't being used like that.
Yeah. I got to disagree.
Not in 11. Not in 11, John.
Brian Finneran, who dropped way more.
John, in 11.
We had just come off of in 2010 the playoff debacle.
And Mike Smith, and I quote, "We need to have some explosive plays." And when we went to the explosive plays, that's when we went and drafted.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah, but Michael Jenkins wasn't even a part. Michael Jenkins might have been part of the reason he got Julio, because you had Roddy White.
Exactly.
You already had, so he needed that extra wide receiver, John.
Hold up.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying this was when we found out that Matt Ryan didn't have a deep arm, because Michael Jenkins almost fell over backwards pass in the end zone because he had been underthrown.
John, he threw that long pass to Roddy White and almost threw out his arm against Carolina. Don't tell me that man couldn't throw 60 yards. He threw the ball 60 yards on that play. You just don't like Matt Ryan. Stop trying to act like every point you make. Y'all know that's my brother. Yeah, for all of y'all know I'm not picking on John. Me and him been doing this for 15 years. You know good and well.
I post the video.
See, John.
Now, Larry, go ahead, Larry, because me and John can go all day. Go ahead. Larry.
Let me jump in there right quick.
I'm sorry. Hey, John Higgins, let Larry go, because Larry was waiting on me and John to stop batching.
Okay, go.
Go ahead, Larry.
On the Peter Kahn situation, I watched the combine, right? And they were talking about Peter Kahn and stuff like that. And I watched them lift 225. And this man got beat by 2 kickers, almost all the wide receivers except for 3. He bench pressed 225 10 times.
19 reps.
And he's supposed to be your center.
No.
Well, 13, my bad. 13 reps. 13 reps. That's right. 13 reps. To do that and have like several kickers and most of the wide receivers, all but like 3 or 4 in the entire combine beat you, and you supposed to hold up the line, that's a horrible evaluation in the trenches. That was my main problem with the Metro. He can get the pretty toys.
But who ultimately solidified the center position?
He gets Devontae Freeman.
Oh, don't start that now. Y'all getting beside.
That's right. Say it again. Say it again, Larry. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Don't hold back. You tell Tiny what's up.
Y'all are getting beside yourself. Now y'all
done hit him.
Larry, defend your point.
Everybody like the pretty toys. Everybody like the pretty toys. But we know that you got a dang old statue back there for Matt Ryan that was never going to be able to move his feet, ever. He worked on drills. He worked on getting salsa lessons. He did all kinds of stuff in the offseason.
Right. Let me say this. I think people forget what a general manager's job really is. At the end of the day, a general manager's job is to put a competitive team on the field, period, and keep the books in order. Now, if you put a competitive team on the field through the draft, you're doing your job. You put a competitive team on the field through free agency, you did your job. If you do a combination of both, you did your job. Now, Dimitrov's first 5 years here, winning. You know, and then you go to the NFC Championship game in 2013, which you should have won.
Yeah.
You get rid of that entire coaching staff. You bring in a new coaching staff, and within 4 years later, you were in the Super Bowl with 2 different coaching staffs. So I get it. Dimitrov was our general manager. We look at him from a different microscope. But at the end of the day, he satisfied what he was supposed to do based on responsibilities of his job to put a competitive team on the field. Now, it's not Dimitrov's fault that Mike Smith, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones can't finish a 17-0 game at home against the 49ers. Now, it ain't Dimitrov's fault that Matt Ryan, Dan Quinn, Kyle Shanahan, Julio, Devontae can't hold a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. You win one of those games, you bring one ring home, and we're calling Dimitrov a genius. But don't forget the responsibilities of a GM is to put a competitive team on the field. He did that. Now, if you want to pick and prod at the draft picks, that's fine. But make sure you remember that Alex Mack came here also, gave us some All-Pro years.
Muhammad Sanu.
Make sure you remember Sanu came in here. Make sure you remember Gonzalez came in here. So make sure you remember Dontario Poe came in here. So for what he might have lacked in drafting, he knew how to bring guys in here that can make an impact. So y'all, we got to give Dimitrov credit and stop acting like he was the worst general manager that ever came through Atlanta, because he's the best one that ever came through Atlanta at the end of the day. I'm done.
And you go from 2008, and Winston, we appreciate you, brother. We see you out there on the playground. We see you out there on the playground. Is you out there? Some kids behind you. I'm trying to see where you at, man. You look like, that's the old folks' home. John in there. Go in there and see John Harris. Go knock on the door.
I'm gonna bring some Jello pudding.
Real quick before I get to you, Winston. From 2008 to 2017, we had 2 losing seasons. I'm gonna repeat this. From 2008 to 2017, we had 2 losing seasons. And before in Falcons lore, I think we made the playoffs maybe 6 times before that. So to your point, Tidy, and we mess around about Devontae Freeman. Devontae Freeman was a 5th round pick. Yep. Grady Jarrett was a 5th round pick.
Yeah.
Deion Jones, even though he left, he was a 2nd round pick. He was able to do some good things. I'm not trying to get on the Thomas Dimitrov parade, but when I hear people say he didn't do anything, it kind of does say, okay, now we had 6 playoff years out of 9. And
2 NFC championships.
2 NFC championships in the Super Bowl.
With 2 different coaching staffs.
2 different coaching staffs.
But what got Dan Quinn and Dimitrov was when Quinn got here, the picks, the safety from Florida, you just mentioned, Steve. And you got Tat McKinnon. Mm-hmm. You got Vic Beasley. They didn't pan out. That would messed up Dan Quinn here.
And you know what, John? I think you're right. But I think at that time, as I allude to this all the time, the reason why we overpaid these guys, and this was also under Dimitrov's watch, so I'm gonna do the pros and the cons. Yeah. We were so busy trying to get that feeling back of 2016 that we overpaid. We overpaid Devonta. We overpaid Trufant. We overpaid Ryan twice. We overpaid Julio because we were too busy trying to get that feeling back from what we did in 16. And to your point, when you talk about McKinley and Beasley is such a tough one for me. Because we don't go to the Super Bowl if Beasley isn't on the team in 16.
Okay,
let's keep it 100. We don't go to the Super Bowl if Beasley doesn't do what he does in 16. So as much as I know people want to go with the bus, yeah, he didn't last long, but we don't go to the Super Bowl if we don't have those 15.5 or 16.5.
15.5.
Very true, Steve. Very true, Steve. But eighth overall,
And
I'm
the
not looking
defense
for a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
I'm not
Listen,
looking for a one-hit wonder at eighth overall.
how many times does Ndamukong Suh wait until right after training camp to sign a contract, and then we end up seeing Ndamukong Suh making a big difference on the team at the end of he did that. Didn't he come in? Was it the Rams that he came in for the last second? Who did he come in last second a couple of years ago? Somebody else he signed late and helped the defense.
It might have been the Rams.
It was the Rams? Yeah.
Might have been the Rams.
So
was it Tampa Bay? Was it Tampa
No, it
Bay?
was Tampa.
Was it Tampa? Okay. Then it was Tampa. So
It was him and the King Hicks on the line.
yeah. So Winston, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to some of the conversation. We're talking about the pros and the cons of the pro Ritter crowd versus the pro Lamar crowd, and we're kind of being Rodney King. Why can't we just all get along? Where are you in the whole battle of it?
After the beating.
I'm pro Lamar. Me personally, I'm pro Lamar. If you got a chance to get him in here, you get him in here. Because if Ritter doesn't pan out, we could be in the exact same spot 2 years from now. Because then we got to go draft a quarterback. You had to draft a quarterback. If you stay put with Ritter and be like, all right, well, I'm gonna give him a season to see what he do. All right, so we're gonna add additions to the team. The team will get better. We'll probably win more games because of the team being better, but he doesn't pan out. So now you have to trade to go up to go get a quarterback. When you can go get a quarterback now and be set for the future. That doesn't make sense.
Right. And I think most of us are. I think not even most of us, all of us who are still here, we want to win. At the end of the day, you're trying to win, and it's just odd to me that there is something holding people back from saying, I don't know. And maybe that's this franchise and this losing mentality sometimes and the attitude. I think as a fan, man, what haven't we tried? We tried drafting offensive linemen in one draft. We tried drafting defensive linemen. We got Ray Edwards pretty behind in here and tried to put him on the defensive line.
God.
We tried everything.
Okay.
So my thing is kind of like when Terry swung and missed last year for Deshaun. I'm just trying to figure out why is there so much pushback to shoot for the fences, to swing for the fences again with Lamar Jackson. And again, we all heard the report, so I don't need the he's already talking to them. I'm not talking. I'm just saying, but why the resistance to try to get better immediately? Because the one thing all seven of us can't argue is if we got Lamar, we would be better at the quarterback position than we've ever been in Atlanta Falcons history. Is there a debate about that?
No,
Let me
sir.
ask you a question. What? Okay. Say for instance, and I'm gonna project here.
Okay.
Say for instance, there was a surefire number one desirable quarterback available in this draft.
Okay.
And he needed to move up from 8 to number. Where would we need to move to get that quarterback?
Two.
First,
Probably 1 or 2.
Number two.
Yeah.
Number two.
okay.
Yeah, because Chicago's one. That's right.
What would be the cost in draft picks to move to that number 2 spot?
The same for Lamar. Basically the same for Lamar, probably.
So that was when Winston was talking, I was thinking about that because I want Lamar Jackson, but if he is not available, would we do that? Since we have all the draft picks, since we have all of this money, would we make that move? Is that a move that we could make if you had somebody out there that was a person that brought all of the intangibles that a college player could bring, in the quarterback spot, would you still give up those 2 first-round draft picks for a cheaper salary for a bona fide talent versus
excellent.
That's a great
excellent question. I'm gonna go around with that one real quick. John Higgins, would you rather trade those picks for, and that's I'm gonna put, would you rather trade those picks for a proven commodity, whether it be Lamar Jackson or otherwise, or would you trade those picks for the best quarterback talent on the board coming out of the draft? I'm gonna go with you, John Higgins, first.
Okay, give me the quarterback that's coming out that's worth that this year.
Yeah, that's probably my point.
You could argue Bryce and you can argue Stroud just for
Stroud. That's about it.
Yeah.
So they would cost the same because Lamar, they're the rumor, and nothing is set in stone. The rumor is saying 2 to 3 first round picks. But I argue that you're going to pay that too.
Alabama would make me think about it.
Yeah.
Alabama made me think about it.
Okay. David, what would you do?
This year, much as I love CJ, I wouldn't. Now, next year, if you want to talk Caleb Williams,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But but this year, CJ's probably gonna have to fall to me. But CJ's gonna have to fall this year. I have to say Lamar because this year CJ's gonna have to fall to me. But like I said, next year you want to talk Caleb Williams, then I'm gonna give up that capital to move up to get him.
I got a question for y'all when y'all get through. Go ahead.
The only person I would trade up to go get this year would be Jalen Carter. I'm not trading up for a quarterback. Not this year.
So you would use those picks on Lamar if you had a choice.
Yeah, most definitely. Because it's proven. He's proven in the league. Every time you draft a player, you don't you hope that he pans out. You hope that he'd be great. But you don't know that. A lot of people have successful college careers and flame out in the NFL. Lamar is proven in the league. If I'm trading, I'm going to go get him.
Cool. I'm getting ready to come to you, Tidy J. No, Lamar, right at this second, nobody is right now. He's unrestricted, but the business year hasn't started. So Baltimore can put an exclusive rights or a non-exclusive rights tag on Lamar Jackson. So at this second, Jay, we just talking. Baltimore is the only team that can literally sign him to a contract today. So right now, nobody else can really do anything with him until the season is over with and the business year starts. Tidy, what do you say? Would you use those draft picks to go up in this year, or would you use those draft picks for Lamar?
Lamar, without a doubt, and kind of pretty much what Winston said. It's a proven talent. You know what you're gonna get with Lamar. There's no whether or not he will or won't pan out. He has a track record of I think about 4 years now. So without a doubt, Lamar. Just simply the fact it's proven talent, and I'm just gonna have to bite that proverbial bullet and pan.
It makes sense to me.
And the reason I'm asking this is that if you don't get Lamar this year, you may end up with this conversation next year.
Right.
You may end up in this quandary next year because depending upon where we end up, say we don't do anything. We ride with Ritter. We see what happens. Mm-hmm. Okay. Next year, if we're 8, 7, 10, whatever, we may have to do this next year. And that's why, I'm not really, and, I know you guys have been, you and Tidy, Steve, you and Tidy, and I think Winston too, was saying that we had to have something out of this team as far as going to the playoffs. I don't see it. I still don't see it. They may surprise me.
Wait, you don't see what, John? I'm sorry.
I don't see it.
I was going to the playoffs.
No, I don't see it. I really don't see it.
John, if we go in the season with Ritter, that's the number one. I'm on that same boat with you, bro. We gonna be at 6-11, 7-10 again.
Nah,
Just gonna keep it real.
we can get the playoffs.
You have to look at
playoffs.
the division.
David,
You got to look at the
our
division.
fan base said that last year.
Tampa Bay and Carolina have quarterback issues. Saints don't know which quarterback they want to pick. Plus, they got no money to spend, so they're gonna lose majority of their team. We probably will slide into the playoffs just off our run game, little improvement. Why I tell you, we gonna get in the playoff. We gonna get in the playoff with like a 9-9. I mean a 9-7 record. Why do I tell you?
You better get your real quarterback. And don't hope Ritter gonna do it. That's the only way. You got.
Anthony comes in. Anthony says, "I say we bullied a strong defense and get rid of some more pieces. Lamar's a nice quarterback, but I'm scared because he would be getting hurt a lot. It seems like. Plus, you got to give Ritter at least a year to try. And let me be the first one to say, Anthony, your logic is right on. I get it. I'm not even denying anything you're saying. I think my point when it comes to the pro Lamar side of this is just to say you're getting a commodity you know about. Yeah, you know what? Ritter could come out in the first week and have a high ankle sprain. We keep acting like Lamar is the only one that can get hurt because he's hurt currently. And quite honestly, aside of Matt Ryan and Eli Manning, every quarterback in the NFL has been down and out for a couple of weeks every year. So I don't want to lean on we're just going to say he gets hurt all the time. Now, I just don't think that's fair. I understand what you're saying about give Ritter a try too. I'm not against that. But the problem is, again, boy, this fan base has been wait another year, wait another year, wait another year. Wait another year. Tidy looked like he was 17 about 4 years ago. Now he looks every bit of 60. And John had a full head of Jerry curl. Look at him now. That's what I'm trying to say. We can't wait. I'm serious. I want to see these Falcons get a Super Bowl. So if you get an opportunity to swing. I mean, so I'm not mad at your opinion, Anthony. You're on point. I got you, and I'll ride with Ritter if we don't do the other thing. But I'm just saying, Smitty comes in, Smitty says, win now, pay later. Smitty been singing that song with me the whole time. Dude, we, as hardcore Falcon fans, don't we get tired of the status quo? Don't we get tired of and I hear everybody, let's build the trenches. Let's build it. That ain't new, and that's not authentic.
Let's build the defense. Build the defense.
Build the defense. I mean, and let's not act like we haven't drafted for the defense the last two. Tiny, how many defensive players we drafted in the last 2 years? Is it more than 5?
Oh, a bunch of them. This last draft we drafted hard. You had Troy Anderson in the second round. You had AK early. You had the Hawk drafted early. You had Richard Grant drafted early. They've been trying to build the defense.
But here's what you don't hear. Here's what you don't hear about the defense. Let's give them a year. We ready to give Ritter this year. Right. We ready to give Ritter a year. We ready for Ritter to get some development. But we don't want to let Hawkins grow. We don't want to let Richie Grant. No, I understand. We don't want to let Richie grow. We don't want to let Troy Anderson grow. We don't want to let AJ grow. We don't. I mean, it's yeah, absolutely. AK the rest. So why the double standard? Why does Ritter get this? Well, let him grow. It's after 4 years, but then we ready to get rid of Evan Kennedy because he didn't get a sack this year or didn't get 10 sacks this year.
Right.
They're ready to give up on what's my other buddy name?
Ogundishi.
And he showed a little bit more near the end, but you talk some of the fans, he's already a bust.
Right.
And that's not fair to say, let's give Ritter time. But then we don't want to give all the rest of the defensive talent that we've accumulated. We don't want to give them the opportunity. Smitty said, "P.S. Grant is a bust." You ain't gonna get much argument out of that one. But I just don't understand. And I know I say it again. I know y'all get tired of me. Quarterback is the most important position in North American sports. There's no argument. To me, there's no argument.
You don't have one, you don't win.
Right.
Look at the Jets.
I keep hearing everybody. Brock Purdy, look at what he's doing. Look at what he's and I'm put Brock Purdy on the Falcons. that's my argument to people about Brock Purdy. Put Brock Purdy on the Falcons and see what happens.
Steve,
They be talking about you trade for Lamar.
Steve, I got a question for y'all.
Talk to me.
We talking about college quarterback. I got a question for y'all, and I might get a little feedback on it, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
It's all good.
Late third to the fourth round. If Stetson's bidded that, would you grab him?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Not that early.
Nope.
Not that early. I wouldn't get him before the 6th round.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
I honestly, as much as I love Stetson being a big Georgia Bulldog fan, I wouldn't draft him.
no.
Okay.
Well, like I said, like Winston said, I wouldn't get him for the 6th round.
Okay.
See,
I just wondered.
here's the quarterback that everybody's forgetting about.
I personally don't think he's gonna last that long, but that mean I said late third to the fourth.
It's not a beat up. It's not a beat up. Let me make it clear. Stetson Bennett, to me, is one of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time for what he's done in college.
College quarterback.
I wouldn't trade him with New Orleans draft pick if you told me. Now, if he wanted to walk on and get a practice squad, that's fine. That's fine. But speaking of number one draft picks, I see him out there mowing. I don't know if he's mowing the grass or whether he on a seesaw. What you doing, Big Low? What's going on, Big Low?
Hey, Low.
Coach Ronald got me out here walking this dog.
Oh, you walking the dog? I was like, I know you're making me dizzy. I was like,
oh, my bad, brother.
No, you good. Talk to me, Big Low. You've been listening to the conversation, man. We just talking about, and I saw your show yesterday. Y'all check Big Low out on, and I'm gonna let him tell y'all where to find him. But I watched his show, and he was having pretty much kind of the same conversation we were having pro Lamar, anti Lamar, and why we just banging heads. Just tell me what's on your mind, Big Low, while we here.
I mean, the thing is that there's pros and cons to it, right? It's like I say all the time, man. If we're a fifth, we'd all be drunk. It's like if Desmond Ritter's that dude. You already know it, bro. Like, if Desmond Ritter's that guy, if we look at the Baltimore Ravens and see what Lamar Jackson's done with them, like, can we legit say the Baltimore Ravens are a better team than the Atlanta Falcons? Most people would say yes. They've drafted a lot better than we have over the years. But can we say we got better weapons? I would say so. So, that's the beautiful thing about this time of the year. We don't know what's going to happen. We just going to have fun while it happens,
That make a lot of sense, man. I think that's where I am, man. I don't care how it ends up, whether we get Lamar and spend a lot of money or whether we ride with Ritter. That's not going to stop me from supporting the team and going in that direction. I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna go around one last time. I just want to get a feel of where everybody coming from real quick because the brother got to go out here and make some money. John Higgins, appreciate you, brother. Right now, if Chris came to show, where are you? Are you just straight up pro Jackson or pro Ritter?
I like to go. I like to go with the draft pick.
Oh, you gonna go draft pick? Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm like Ritter. I like Ritter.
Ritter. Okay, yeah, you can go draft pick too. That could be three. Larry, I saw you going in and out, brother. I apologize.
No problem, man. I had to get off my phone. I just got on my regular setup.
It's all good. Where do you go right now? You got three choices: pro Jackson, pro Ritter, or in the draft.
Oh, you talking about quarterback wise?
Yeah,
in the draft?
Quarterback.
Okay. I heard what John said about if it's going to take that much to get the draft pick conditional out of your Falcon mind, why wouldn't you spend it on a proven commodity, a former MVP of the league? That's where I'm at. I mean, yeah, Ritter has potential. I agree. But you don't pass on a generational talent.
Exactly.
And coming from a person that's not a season ticket holder, you are a season ticket holder, so I understand when you want to be entertained there and you want a chance to win, you don't want to be sitting here saying, oh, well, let's just hope that Ritter works out when we got a proven commodity with better weapons than he have on Baltimore.
Right. Larry, tell them where you at too, man, before, because I'm going to go around and get out. Tell everybody where you at, man.
Guys, we're on YouTube, TikTok, and it's the same thing at the _Dixon_Wade, just like you say on my name. We do live, like basic commentary, watch parties for all Atlanta games. We've been doing the special, like, for the playoffs too, but normally we're just all ATL. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the A sports. And I come on here bothering Tidy, you know what I'm saying? Getting in his comments after the game. Like, as soon as I start finishing, I'll come and check you guys out. So, guys, if y'all watching this, support everybody on here that got their own show. You know what I'm saying? Today we got the Hawks versus the Knicks. You hear my son right here. He's a part of the show always. And yeah, when my wife's on, she joins me. Okay, she's one half of the Dixon way. And yeah, that's what we do, man. All the time. You guys want to basically turn the TV down, turn the Dixon way up. You know what I'm saying? You can get commentary, you get better entertainment anyway. So yeah.
And I'm not pumping him up because he's standing here in front of him, because I've told people about him all the time. I'm trying to tell you for real. If y'all turn the TV down, even if you got a DVR, and just try to match it to what he's doing, and I'm trying to tell you, he be losing his mind on these Atlanta teams live. So y'all definitely give my brother some love on that channel, man, because he, with the way the Hawks been going up and down this year, I'm surprised he's still sitting here with.
Hey man, you gotta do it. Real Falcons fan, real Hawks fan, all about the A, man. That's what I do, man.
I
may not agree with my takes, man. You're gonna be entertained, hopefully.
Oh, that always. Brother Winston, who you got? Pro Jackson, pro Ritter, or pro draft pick?
Pro Jackson, but if not, I would look at Hendon Hooker in the third or fourth round.
Schmidt.
That's actually not a bad deal. John Harris, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming back on. I see the internet was paid for. Appreciate you jumping back. So before it cuts off again, what you got? Pro Jackson, pro Ritter, or draft pick?
Either way, we're gonna have Ritter. Either way. So I'll take Lamar Jackson with Ritter, but Ritter needs to be in a quarterback camp right now, and that's all I got to say.
And let me tell you something. As much as I got to give you a lot of credit, because I think you were one of the ones that probably brought that to light. And all kidding aside, John been beating that drum since the moment he got that information. And it almost sounds stupid and silly that you would think he was making that up. But he's absolutely right. You have people out of position teaching a young person how to be a professional quarterback in this league. And I got to give you credit. It'll be the 1 out of 10 times I'll give you credit. I'll go give you credit. Oh,
Why, thanks, Steve. David, call 911 because he about to pass out.
I know that, right? Look. Hey, I might call. Hang on, I'm gonna call you on the way to work, John. Okay. David, where you say pro Jackson, pro Ritter, or draft pick?
I'm pro Jackson because the money we still gonna have money to sign others. You know what I'm saying? Because tears the jeans with the cap. And two, I trust Terry to put picks around him, to build him up and build this team up and make him better.
Mm-hmm. I hear you, man. I think Terry's gonna do a good job, man. Don't let y'all cameras fool y'all. On the bottom left, you see the one and only Antoine Smitty Smith. And Smitty, tell him where you are, because brother got to go to work, because John Harris ain't going to work today, so I got to take his place. Tell him where you are, and then tell us what you think: pro Jackson, pro Ritter, or draft pick.
I'm pro Jackson all the way. I've been getting toasted on Twitter for the last 2 weeks, but I don't care. I'm gonna speak my mind.
There you go.
And trust me, Uncle Steve know this. If I say something 9 times, it's gonna happen. Just because they said they talking to Lamar Jackson, don't mean they gonna sign him. Trust me. If you think I'm lying, just keep an eye open, because he's gonna be somewhere else come week 1. But sorry I was late, but y'all can catch me on Smitty Sports Machine and on YouTube. And go check out those Lamar Jackson videos. And trust me, y'all gonna find some tidbits and some nuggets that's gonna have y'all scratching y'all head, and y'all gonna say I was right in the end.
And just for the record, 2 different things. If y'all want some homemade under the counter moonshine, Big Low is over there walking that Doberman picture out there where he is doing his thing. And if y'all want some homemade Felipe Franks jerseys, that's my boy Smitty. He got you covered with that. He got some Felipe. He got some 3X, some 4X. We can get into that. So
This bootleg Friday. This bootleg Friday.
my brother Tidy, Atlanta Bird game, man. Always, like I said, man, just always a pleasure to have him come in here and holler at us about football. I just thank everybody on the panel, man. Quite honestly, man, this is the kind of barbershop video stuff, and that's why for everybody who's in the comments, I'm sorry I couldn't hit everybody, but we appreciate y'all coming. Like the video and continue to subscribe. But brother Tidy, I'm gonna let it end with you. Pro Jackson, pro Ritter, or draft a quarterback, and then please let everybody know where they can find you.
Definitely pro Lamar Jackson. If you can bring him in here, go get him. And, we'll deal with the ramifications of the draft picks and also the salary cap when that time comes. But without a doubt, definitely pro Jackson. If that doesn't happen, bring in a viable free agent to compete against Desmond Ritter. And also, you can catch me on YouTube, Atlanta Bird Game. Definitely check out our Facebook group as well, Atlanta Bird Game. Most of everybody on this panel is in that group, so check us out on there. Also, we're on Instagram as well, Atlanta Bird Game. Oh, cool. And this is for Mr. John Harris, who always talking about quarterback camp and quarterback coaches. Matt Ryan will be your quarterback coach.
Yes.
And there will be a Matt Ryan quarterback camp within the next 2 years. And you're going to have to deal with it.
Here we go.
You're going to have to deal with it.
That man couldn't coach a pregnant woman in Lamar's class. Don't send that man here.
How do you talking that junk? You remember back in the day we used to have to stand in line for concert tickets? John would be camped out if Matt Ryan came back to do a quarterback.
Yeah. And you better have Gwinnett County Police up there too.
All county.
You better have Gwinnett County Police. Matt Ryan, oh God, no.
All county, man.
Fellas, I appreciate everybody, man. Thanks for everybody joining us. Thanks for everybody in the comment section. Appreciate y'all having some good conversation during the day. At the end of the day, everybody, we all for the Falcons. So let's keep the perspective on that. Y'all take care. Have a great day. I'll catch y'all at work. Be kind to your post office, men and women. Y'all be good. See y'all later.
Yeah, be kind to your retired